Hey kiddos, it's Edgar and I, and it is Friday night. We're on story number 7. Sit down. Can you sit down? Yes, you're fine. And we are going to read Miss Nelson is Missing. So there are 3 of these. So this will be the first one, and then we'll do the next two nights. The kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. Spitballs were sticking to the ceiling, paper airplanes whizzed through the air. They were the worst behaved class in the whole school. "Now, settle down," said Miss Nelson in a sweet voice, but the class would not settle down. They whispered, they giggled, they squirmed, and they made faces. Can you sit down, Edgar? Sit down. You can sit down. You want to sit by Mom? The kids are waiting to hear the story. Can you sit? Sit down. Oh, I know. Oh, okay. Are you going to be all done? You can sit. Yes. The kids were even rude during story hour. Edgar. And they always refuse to do their lessons. "Something will have to be done," said Miss Nelson. The next morning, Miss Nelson did not come to school. "Wow," yelled the kids. "Now we can really act up." They began to make more spitballs and more paper airplanes. "Now let's just be terrible," they said. "Not so fast," said an unpleasant voice. Edgar's gonna be done. Edgar's had enough of story time for now. A woman in an ugly black dress stood before them. "I'm your teacher, Miss Viola Swamp," and she rapped the desk with her ruler. "Where's Miss Nelson?" asked the kids. "Never mind," snapped Miss Swamp. "Open those arithmetic books." Miss Nelson's kids did as they were told. They could see that Miss Swamp was a real witch. She meant business, and right away she put them to work. She loaded them down with homework. "We'll have no story hour today," said Miss Swamp. "Keep your mouths shut," said Miss Swamp. "Sit perfectly still," said Miss Swamp. "And if you misbehave, you'll be sorry," said Miss Swamp. The kids in room 207 had never worked so hard. Days went by and there was no sign of Miss Nelson. The kids missed Miss Nelson. "Maybe we should try to find her," they said. So some of them went to the police. Detective McSmog was assigned to the case. He listened to their story. He scratched his chin. He said. I think Miss Nelson is missing." Detective McSmog would not be much help. Other kids went to Miss Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn and no one answered the door. In fact, the only person they did see was the wicked Miss Viola Swamp coming up the street. "If she sees us, she'll just give us more homework." They got away just in time. "Maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark," said one of the kids. But that didn't really seem likely. Sharks, very unpleasant. "Maybe Miss Nelson went to Mars," said another kid. But that didn't really seem likely either. "I know," exclaimed one know-it-all. "Maybe Miss Nelson's car was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies." Okay, that seemed least likely of all. The kids in room 207 became very discouraged. It seemed that Miss Nelson was never coming back. They would be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. They heard footsteps in the hall. "Here comes the witch," they whispered. "Hello, children," said someone in a sweet voice. It was Miss Nelson. "Did you miss me?" she asked. "We certainly did," cried all the kids. "Where were you?" "That's my little secret," said Miss Nelson. "How about a story hour?" Oh, yes, cried the kids. Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour, no one was rude and no one was silly. What brought about this lovely change? She asked. That's our little secret, said the kids. Back home, Miss Nelson took off her coat and she hung it into the closet, right next to an ugly black dress. When it was time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself with a smile. P.S. Detective McSmog is working on a new case. He is now looking for Miss Viola Swamp. The end. And tomorrow we will read Miss Nelson is Back. See you soon, kiddos. Bye.